Hello and welcome everyone. It is time to enter the kumite. Remember, this is not a sport. You don't play fight. What's up, fight fans? Today we're going to be taking a closer look into the upcoming fight between Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. This fight is for the UFC's welterweight championship, and Edwards is about to try and dethrone the pound-for-pound king, who's been seeming pretty unbeatable lately. This guy is talking about moving up to 205 pounds because he's been clearing out the division. Hopefully we don't see him leave too soon because he has some really interesting matchups lining up right now. Leon Edwards being one of them, Khamzat Chimaev, Shavkat Rakhmonov. There's some interesting ones on the horizon here. Now, this one is a rematch, and every analyst loves a good rematch because what better place is there to find relevant footage than the previous fight itself? Either man can win this fight. Let's take a closer look at how they may win this fight. Leon Edwards is fast, man, and a sniper. He is most definitely going to have the striking advantage, especially at range. He's going to try to keep this one at range. If he allows Usman to start turning this into a dogfight, I don't see Edwards coming out on top. There are too many openings for the takedown attempts in a dogfight, too many dangerous strikes on the exit of clinch, especially when he's trying to keep his center of gravity low, keep his arms low for, if he shoots and he needs to get the underhooks, then he can come up over top with an elbow or an overhand or a hook. Edwards uses those front kicks up the middle, the high kicks, and he'll also toss those knees up the middle to meet whatever's coming his way. If he can space these out and time them safely, these are going to cause some problems for Usman trying to cover the distance. Usman dips low pretty often. It's a part of his mix-ups. This can be a double-edged sword, though, because those kicks can get grabbed, and Usman is clearly the stronger wrestler. Make no mistake, Edwards has the ability to time these nicely and pop Usman's head up with them, or maybe even put his lights out. Edwards is very aware of his positioning and countering potential throughout the fight. He'll have times where he's lulling in a fight a bit, and sometimes he gets caught for it. But when he's in his flow state, he is so precise and makes such good reads. His uppercuts are obviously going to be a go-to weapon for him, especially if he can lead into it with his lead hook. It really depends on what kind of takedown Usman is going into. If Usman times one perfectly and blasts through, then I don't see it landing. It'll be the takedown where Usman is leaning over and looking for a body lock or, looking to work to the body that I see Edwards landing it like he did here. Edwards needs to stay adamant about his angle changes. From the clinch, Usman was having a very hard time actually detaining him when he was shifting his weight into different directions. It made it difficult for Usman to know where to drive and what to attack. In their first fight, he was doing it in every clinch exchange, but as the fight went on, he got a bit lazy with it. In that first round, he was doing a really good job at stopping the takedown attempts of Usman. But as we saw, the takedowns got easier and easier and easier as the fight went on, which doesn't look good for a 5-round rematch. In the striking, this angle changing, it's going to limit the openings that Usman has to get his hands on Edwards after shots are thrown. Usman was taking every opportunity possible to punish Edwards' aggression with a takedown attempt or a body lock, dip underneath and fucking shoot for it. Another thing I will say is that even though Usman racked up a total of over 10 minutes of control time in the first fight, that doesn't mean that he is just straight up out of Edwards' league in terms of grappling. Edwards was going toe-to-toe in the clinch and fighting those takedowns. He just couldn't get back to his feet really once he was taken down. That was where the difference was. If he was on his back, he just could not get off of it. Don't forget that he had Usman in some hot water in the first round with his triangle choke attempt. He didn't necessarily have Usman close to being out, but if Usman had messed up and got over-aggressive, it could have been game over right there. Kamaru Usman, the pound-for-pound king, is looking to make his 6th title defense while he's trying to etch his name into greatness. He does have a solid contender in front of him, but he has been seeming like he's on another level lately. He's honestly an exception to science. I mean, this guy is a Hulk with his wrestling, has power in both hands, and 5-round cardio. He's explosive. He's got the quick twitch muscles, and he has the slow twitch muscles. So he's consistently strong and consistently explosive, and he can do it for 5 rounds. This is an exception to the rule. This is something that we don't see. I don't think it'll come as a surprise to anyone that Usman will be looking to grapple. He might not just go out there and look to hold Edwards down for 5 rounds. He's come a long way in his striking, but he can earn the respect of Edwards with his grappling and have more of an advantage on the feet. And vice versa for the striking to grappling. He needs to keep Edwards in that middle state of not knowing to defend the takedown or to strike. Defend the takedown or strike. So we saw him utilizing all kinds of things to mix it up and keep Edwards guessing, tossing out the high kick, feinting the takedown, or feint the takedown into the high kick, feinting the takedown, then going up top with hooks or overhands. It's this high to low and low to high that'll really throw these rangy strikers off. This is the kind of competition that we need to see Israel Adesanya go up against. But yeah, especially once you've caught them with something clean or you've gotten a good takedown on them. There were moments that Edward looked slow, like he was lagging. It's because he was stuck in that middle of grappling and striking, and sometimes he just didn't even react to certain things. He didn't make a decision in the moment. He was just backpedaling with no defense or anything. It was crazy to see, honestly, because Edwards is such a technical striker. But it's a different thing when you don't know if you should be going for the defense of the takedown or you need to be on your A game so you don't get caught big with something on the feet. Another thing to note is that Usman got stronger as the fight played on. The takedowns were coming easier and easier for him. It's not even as though Edwards was just too tired to defend. Usman was still coming at him with his full pace, and it looked like Edwards kind of started slacking off on his defense. Edwards cannot afford to get sloppy in a 5-round fight with Usman because Usman is not going to stop coming for him. He's not going to stop working for those takedowns, making it a dogfight, making it dirty. Usman has also improved his boxing. He wings things out less often. He still does it sometimes with his lead overhands and when he really loads into a shot that he thinks is going to land, it looks a bit sloppy, but it's much less often now. He's developed a jab, a piston-like jab. He still has that dip-in left hook, but now he can also fire out the jab at quite a long range. Then comes in the times where he just gauges the distance with his lead hand, draw out a reaction, or pulls down the guard and throws his cross right down the center like a fucking laser beam. I mean, just take a look at what he did to Jorge Masvidal. I will say, too, that this punch looked eerily similar to the punch that Nate Diaz nearly took out Edwards with. It looks more like it if they would happen to be fighting in opposite stances, but nonetheless, if he gets an early reaction out of Edwards, like pulling with a lead hook, he might fire this laser beam down the center and catch him good. Usman has a lot more power than Nate Diaz. I don't know, man. I could see it happening, especially if Edwards gets comfortable in there at any point. Ultimately, though, I'm going to go with Kamaru Usman via 4th round TKO. I have a weird feeling that Edwards is going to get caught with that cross down the center when he tries to pull on a punch and counter with a lead hook. I think Usman and his camp, maybe even specifically Trevor Whitman, saw something in that Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards fight, and I think they're going to make something better out of it. I think they're going to make something out of that. I just see Usman getting that piston of his inside the arm of Edwards and catching him good. I see it in the 4th because Edwards is really smart and will probably be on his A game, but we've also seen him get comfortable and start to kind of coast a little bit, and that's just not something you can do in cage fighting. I do see this being a pretty competitive fight, though. Both guys are great everywhere. Usman isn't a novice on the feet in the same way that Edwards isn't a slouch on the ground. I think Usman's striking to grappling mix-ups are just going to throw Edwards off, and I see it forcing him to make some really bad decisions, sometimes not even making a decision at all. With that, I'll go ahead and wrap things up. If you like the content we're providing, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you disagree with our picks, make sure to berate us down in the comments below. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and you can even follow me personally on Twitter. Remember, this is not a sport. If you don't play, fight.